Frantic search for victims after a Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines regional jet collided midair in Washington.
Overnight, U.S. figure skating confirmed several members of its community were aboard the flight, including athletes, coaches, and family members. They were traveling from a development camp in Kansas. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has the latest from outside D.C.
This morning, the search continues for any survivors after a commercial airliner collided with a helicopter midair while approaching Reagan National Airport.
Crash. This is Alert 3. Crash.
A live stream from an EarthCam web camera capturing the moment of impact. A fireball lighting up the sky. Both aircrafts then crashing into the Potomac River, making rescue efforts difficult.
The water that we're operating in is about 8 feet deep. There is wind, there is pieces of ice out there, so it's just dangerous and hard to work in.
It happened just after 8:45 last night. Authorities say the jet was inbound from Wichita, Kansas, and making its final approach to Reagan with 60 passengers and 4 crew members on board. Officials say an additional 3 Army soldiers were on the Black Hawk.
From the Department of Transportation and FAA's perspective, we are going to offer full support to those on the ground, to the mayor, but also to the NTSB, who is going to be conducting the investigation in this matter.
Ari Schulman was driving home when he looked up and saw the plane falling from the sky.
It was illuminated bright yellow underneath, and there was a spray of sparks on the underside of the plane, and I knew something was wrong because it was very, very close to the ground. It was maybe 80 or 100 feet above the ground, banked all the way to the right.
More emergency personnel rushing to the scene overnight, officials scrambling boats and divers hoping to pull any possible survivors out of the frigid water. The investigation now underway as officials try to determine what happened. American Airlines CEO responding to the tragedy overnight.
I'd like to express our deep sorrow about these events.
Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Alexandria, Virginia.
The Reagan National Airport will be closed until at least 11 this morning. Officials said they're providing support for families. There's a lot more to come with this breaking story as the search for victims continues. Look for updates on air throughout the day and in the WHAS11 News app as we get them.
6:04 now. Here at home, charges against the pregnant woman who was cited by a Metro police officer for street camping while she was in labor have been dropped.
Court date on November the 8th at 9 a.m. at the courthouse at 600 West Jefferson.
The incident happened back in September and garnered national attention after the body camera video was released. Yesterday, a judge dismissed the woman's case during a large docket of unlawful street camping citations. There has been an uptick in these citations since the state law making it a misdemeanor went into effect last summer. District Court will now hold a special docket for these violations once a month. Service providers to help those experiencing homelessness will be in those courtrooms to offer resources.
Our job as prosecutors is to do justice, and that means that if we can help get these folks connected rather than being convicted, then that's just.
There was some diversion, right? They left again with more resources, and hopefully we'll be moving closer to plan to housing.
The LMPD says nearly 70 citations for unlawful camping have been issued since the law was enacted last July.
2 people have been sentenced for their roles in a 2021 murder. Kevin Thompson and Dekeisha West were both in court yesterday after each pleaded guilty to felony charges in the death of Kyle Elzy. Investigators say they shot and robbed him at a car wash in Linden. The car was found 24 days later in Alabama. Elzy's mother spoke after the sentencing hearing in which Thompson apologized for his actions.
I hadn't heard anything from him in the past 3 years, and all I could do was speculate. So to actually hear from him, that meant a lot to me, and I appreciated him standing up and to say something. And I'm sure he has regret. I'm sure he does. Hindsight's 20/20 for all of us.
Thompson was sentenced to 36 years for Elzy's death. West was sentenced to 5 years for helping hide the evidence and dispose of the car.
It was unanimous. I'm happy. I cannot wait to have my daughter have her bus back in March.
The restoration of bus transportation for nearly 3,000 JCPS students is welcome news for parents like Berkeley Collins. She told us she gave up her 10-year career in the mortgage business in order to drive her 2 daughters to their schools.
I really want them to have that same routine. Most of their friends try and stay in the staff that they know, the teachers that they know, the environments that they know, and I don't want them to rearrange their life. So I rearranged mine so they don't have to rearrange theirs.
Collins does receive a gas stipend from JCPS, but says it doesn't replace the full-time salary she's missing out on. Other parents will have a chance to weigh in on the same issue in an online survey. And the district says that survey will be available Monday and will be up and running for a week. Those responses will inform how many routes are needed. The district says it still needs about 80 more drivers to bring back bus transportation for all students.
Hoosiers from all over the state told me these tax bills keep rising, but wages aren't keeping up with that pace. This is not sustainable.
Lowering property taxes was a big topic for Indiana Governor Mike Braun during his first State of the State address last night. Braun says he wants to cut taxes for new homeowners and seniors and cap annual increases. Democratic lawmakers agree, but say they don't want it to come at the expense of local services. Braun also touched on his plans to lower health care costs and crack down on illegal immigration. You can read more about that at WHAS11.com.
Also today, Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg will give his annual State of the City address. We expect some key talking points to be plans to improve downtown, how the city is tackling violent crime, police department reforms, and affordable housing initiatives. We'll hear more from the mayor at 12:30 today.